Well, if it isn't another day in paradise where robots decide to go rogue, just what we need. Machines throwing tantrums like toddlers who miss snack time. Today, we're diving into a delightful little gem titled AI Robot Snaps Mid-Demo and Attacks Engineers on Camera. I can already feel the excitement. Or maybe that's just the overwhelming urge to roll my eyes. I mean, who doesn't love a good demonstration of technology gone horribly wrong? It's like watching a nature documentary where the prey decides it's had enough of the predator's nonsense. Spoiler alert, the engineers probably wish they had stayed in bed, so grab your popcorn, or whatever you munch on while pretending to be entertained by this circus of silicon and wires. And hey, if you enjoy my delightful grumbling and want more of this nonsense, make sure to subscribe and like, because apparently, that's how we keep the lights on in this digital swamp. Now let's see if this robot has any redeeming qualities, or if it just stinks worse than my bog after a rainstorm.
Robots are getting real, like dangerously real. One of them just snapped mid-demo and started swinging at engineers like it was auditioning for a Terminator reboot. And while that clip set social media on fire, it's only the start. In China, a car company is...
So let me get this straight. We've got robots swinging at engineers like they're auditioning for a role in a bad sci-fi flick, and now a car company in China is getting in on the action. This is just fantastic. I can already picture the marketing slogan. Our cars may attack you, but at least they look good doing it. Honestly, if this is the future of technology, I'd rather stick to my bog. At least there, the only thing swinging at me is a mosquito.
Is putting life-size... Alright, now the viral robot freakout clip is already framed as a meme, but the clip it's...
Finally, we're back to the robot freakout. A meme-worthy moment, huh? I mean, who doesn't love a good freakout? It's like watching a toddler throw a tantrum in the cereal aisle. Hilarious and slightly terrifying, but let's be real. If this is what we're calling viral, I'm worried about the state of humor these days. I can't help but wonder if the engineers were just trying to get it to do a simple task, and it decided to audition for a horror movie instead. Classic.
But the clip itself is almost too on the nose to ignore. Source, the Belarusian TV outfit Nexta, which reposted factory security footage shot somewhere in China. The robot in question, a half-finished humanoid dangling from a construction crane like a marionette, was meant to be going through a routine motion range test. Two engineers stood underneath, hands on tablets reading out servo IDs. Suddenly, every joint spiked. The bot windmilled its arms, kicked its feet, yanked...
Now we're getting to the good stuff. A robot windmilling its arms like it's trying to take flight. That's the kind of chaos I live for. I can just picture those engineers standing there, tablets in hand, thinking they're in control, and then, bam, the robot decides it's had enough of the routine and goes full-on dance party. I mean, who needs a dance floor when you've got a construction crane? This is the kind of unpredictability that makes technology both fascinating and terrifying. I can't help but chuckle at the thought of them dodging flailing limbs. Classic.
Feet yanked the suspension line sideways and slid its welded stand across polished concrete. A desktop PC smashed to the floor, a bucket of fasteners scattered, and both engineers scrambled out of reach while the crane hook groaned overhead. The whole tantrum lasted maybe 20 seconds, but it drew more than 100,000 views in 4 hours and spawned 69 comment thread jokes about Skynet. One viewer wrote, "Sarah Connor was feffing right." Another posted a gif of RoboCop's ED-209 falling downstairs, and a surgical resident admitted the scene reminded him that a Da Vinci console is just motors and firmware after all. That clip parallels a wave of headline-friendly prototypes China has paraded all winter. Pudu Robotics' D9 can walk at 4.5 mph, climb stairs, and take a hip check without tumbling. Clone Robotics' February demo of the proto-clone musculoskeletal android flexed synthetic tendons and...
Now we're talking a musculoskeletal android flexing synthetic tendons. That sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi nightmare. I can just imagine it strutting around, showing off its muscles while I'm over here just trying to lift my own croaky self off the log. This is the kind of tech that makes you wonder if we're one step closer to a robot uprising. I mean, if they can flex like that, what's next? A robot body butters competition? Count me out.
Tendons and promised it would one day cook, clean, and hold a conversation. Commenters loved the tech, but called the atmosphere dystopian. The outburst handed them fresh ammunition. It showed how violently a torque value can run away when the safety envelope isn't nailed down. Meanwhile, 500 kilometers west of Shanghai, Chery Automotive is leaning into the opposite mood: charm. The company, run out of municipal woohoo and building cars since the mid-90s, has decided its next showroom employee will be Morty, a life-size blonde android wearing
Oh yes, the classic charm offensive with a life-size blonde android, because nothing says buy a car quite like a robot in a wig. It can just imagine the sales pitch: come for the cars, stay for the awkward conversation with our android sales rep. It's like they're trying to distract us from the fact that the car might not even start. I mean, who needs a knowledgeable salesperson when you can have a robot with a shiny exterior? This is the kind of marketing that makes me want to croak in disbelief.
android wearing wraparound sunglasses and a ponytail. Chery partnered with a robotics outfit called AI Moga in June 2024 and demoed Morty at last year's Shanghai Auto Show. This week, the robot reappeared on stage behind Chery International President Zhang Guibing in a lineup of identical units. Zhang told dealers the market for humanoids has more potential than vehicles and declared AI Moga is the real future for the Chery company. The price, roughly the same as a car, so figure mid-five figures, though any dealer willing to write a purchase order gets an undisclosed discount. Even at list price, 220 units are promised for delivery in 2025, and one is already greeting shoppers in a Malaysian dealership, dispensing bottled water.
Now we've reached peak absurdity. A robot dispensing bottled water in a dealership. This is the future we've all been waiting for, folks. I can just imagine the sales pitch: buy a car, get a complimentary bottle of water from our friendly robot. It's like they're trying to distract you from the fact that you might be making the worst financial decision of your life. I mean, who needs a knowledgeable salesperson when you have a robot handing out refreshments? This is the kind of innovation that makes me want to croak in disbelief.
Bottled water with carbon fiber fingers and answering trim package questions in a pleasantly synthetic alto. The shades aren't a fashion gag. They hide a surround view camera array that stitches 360 degrees vision, and every fingertip carries capacitive pads that can feel when a customer taps a brochure. A social media clip of Morty's junk in the trunk dance routine at the Woohoo launch.
A junk in the trunk dance routine? Now that's a sight I never thought I'd hear about. I can only imagine the awkwardness of a robot trying to bust a move while also selling cars. It's like they're trying to make it more relatable, but honestly, it just sounds creepier. I mean, who thought adding a dance routine would make a humanoid robot less dystopian? If anything, it's just raising more questions about what we're getting ourselves into. I can't help but chuckle at the absurdity of it all.
The Woohoo launch drew a comment section nearly as long as the robot's spec sheet. One top-rated reply wondered whether the corporate dress code needed updating for plastic blondes.
Now that's a comment worth its weight in gold. Do we really need to update the corporate dress code for plastic blondes? I mean, if we're going to have robots in the showroom, why not let them wear whatever they want? But seriously, this is the kind of commentary that perfectly captures the absurdity of the situation. It's like we're living in a bizarre blend of a sci-fi movie and a corporate training video. I can't help but laugh at the thought of HR trying to figure out how to handle robot fashion choices. What a time to be alive.
Plastic blondes. But Berkeley's party trick is software. They trained a walking policy entirely in simulation, and
finally, we're getting to the good stuff. Training a walking policy entirely in simulation. Now that's some clever engineering. It's like they're playing a video game, but instead of just trying to beat a high score, they're teaching a robot how to walk without tripping over its own feet. I can only imagine the joy of watching it finally get it right after countless virtual faceplants. This is the kind of innovation that makes me cautiously optimistic. If only the robots could learn to avoid the chaos we've seen earlier.
Simulation and watched it transfer zero shot to real hardware. The release video shows the bot stepping off a lab bench, shrugging its shoulders, writing its initials with a felt tip, stacking foam cubes, and
now we're talking. A robot shrugging its shoulders and writing its initials. That's both impressive and a little unsettling. I mean, what's next? Is it going to start doodling in the margins of its homework? Watching it stack foam cubes is like seeing a toddler trying to build a tower. Adorable and slightly chaotic, this is the kind of progress I can get behind, as long as it doesn't decide to throw a tantrum like some of its robotic counterparts.
Cubes, and CLA is a reliability nightmare. Either way, the Repos Issues tab already hosts pull requests for longer pipe batteries and alternative gear ratios, which was exactly the point. Berkeley wants hundreds of garage tinkerers pushing the design forward without waiting for corporate roadmaps. If Berkeley is pushing from the bottom and Igus from the middle, Hyundai is battering the ceiling. The Korean automaker closed its purchase of Boston Dynamics in 2021. Now it's folding the Atlas platform, yes, the parkour-doing celebrity robot, into a new factory complex in Bryan County, Georgia. The plant sits at the core of a $21 billion US investment package, $6 billion of which is earmarked for automation and mobility tech.
Now we're talking serious investment. A $21 billion package with $6 billion specifically for automation and mobility tech. That's the kind of money that could really shake things up in the robot world. I can only imagine the kind of innovations that could come out of that kind of funding. It's like they're saying, let's throw money at robots until they can do everything for us. I just hope they don't forget to program them with a sense of humor. Otherwise, we might end up with a factory full of robots that take themselves way too seriously.
Tech. Hyundai already deploys Boston Dynamics four-legged Spot for inspection rounds. Bringing in two-legged Atlas units is a bigger leap. The goal is 300,000 electric and hybrid vehicles per year, feeding a plan to push a U.S. production capacity from 700,000 cars this year to 1.2 million by the end of the decade. Hyundai hasn't said how many Atlases it's buying, but supply chain whispers point to tens of thousands of robots across multiple categories. Atlas's appeal is clear. It can step over conveyor tracks, climb stairs, and thread.
Now we're getting to the impressive stuff. The Atlas robot stepping over conveyor tracks and climbing stairs. That's some serious agility. It's like watching a well-trained athlete navigate an obstacle course. I can't help but think about how much easier it would be to get things done in a factory with robots that can actually move like that. Just imagine the efficiency. If they can avoid tripping over their own feet, we might be onto something here.
And thread through weld booths designed for humans, which means Hyundai can retool software faster than it could repour concrete. Labor unions are publicly worried about job displacement, yet management argues that uptime and safety statistics will speak for themselves once the bots clock in. The welding cell of 2026 might look like a human tech with a tablet, 3 Atlas units hauling stamped panels, and a dozen fixed ABB wrists performing spot welds, a species mashup the industry has never seen at scale. So, with robots now selling us cars, building them, and occasionally throwing a tantrum mid-test, how long before one replaces you at work?
Now that's the million-dollar question. With robots selling us cars, building them, and occasionally throwing tantrums, it's only a matter of time before one of them takes my job. I can just picture it. A robot sitting in my spot, grumbling about the latest viral trends while rolling its synthetic eyes. Honestly, if they can learn to complain as well as I do, I might just have to retire to my bog in peace, but until then, I'll keep my croaky voice and grumpy charm. At least I'm irreplaceable in that department.
Drop your thoughts and...
Full folks, that was a ride and a half, wasn't it? We went from robots throwing their gears at engineers faster than you can say please don't kill me, to a car company trying to pass off a blonde android as a sales rep. If you're looking for chaos, you found it. The kind of chaos that could only come from the depths of a poorly programmed silicon nightmare. Did my expectations get met? Oh, you bet. I expected ridiculously's, and boy did I get it. These robots swinging wildly and trying to either dance or attack are like suburban toddlers who've just discovered the concept of throwing a tantrum. If that's the future of AI and robotics, maybe I should just stick to my bog before they start taking over. As for my final opinion, well, I suppose it's always nice to see technology evolving, as long as they don't start practicing their MMA skills on unsuspecting engineers. And let's be real, if this is the pinnacle of robotic entertainment, we're in trouble. What's next? Robots selling cars while twerking? At least they'd have the dance moves down while robbing you blind. So if you enjoyed watching me wade through this digital swamp of nonsense, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. Trust me, there are plenty more rants and grumbles where that came from. Until next time, just remember, if a robot ever starts dancing your way, run. You can't outrun a bad joke, but maybe you can escape a robot apocalypse.